All right, team, welcome to the standards video for both RX and scaled. You need to watch this before you judge because there's enough going on in this workout that things can get a little bit confusing, and the last thing you need is one of the staff members jumping in and telling your athlete that none of those reps count. Go back and start the whole thing again. So to be super clear on what's going on so that you know, so that your judge knows, so that you know if you're judging and your athlete knows, this is the video to be watching. Going to start off with those wall walks. Couple of different standards here depending if we're going scaled or RX. Going to talk RX first. For Rob, as a man, he needs to have his fingers on this further tape line. If Rob were a lady, he'd be using the nearer tape line. From here, he needs to get his belly off the floor and both feet onto the wall before he can move his hands, before he leaves that tape line. He then walks all the way in until both hands, any part of the hand, are touching the tape line near the wall. And then he walks back out, keeping his feet on the wall until both hands are on the same tape line he started on. Then he may flop back to the start position, lying on the floor, hands on the line, ready to go again. If we're going scaled, the line we're looking at is this line that's nearest to the wall, all right? At the start of the rep, Rob's hands are going to be in front of that line entirely. That's the further line. You can come back a bit. There we go. He's going to do the same thing again. He's going to push himself up, get his feet on the wall. This time, once both feet are on the wall, he can move his hands. He's looking to clear this nearer tape line entirely, so I can see the whole tape line. He then moves his hands all the way back in front of that nearer tape line, and then he can pop his feet on the floor and flop back down for our wall walk, all right? We need to be really careful here for both versions of that wall walk. As people try to go fast, when we push up, we get one foot on the wall, but the other one doesn't quite make it before our hand moves. That's not a rep because he wasn't touching the wall with the second foot, all right? Just keep an eye on that one. Next up, we get to our double unders or our single unders. Single unders are probably a little bit easier to count. My favorite things when counting double unders: one, I'm listening for the whip of the rope. Double unders first. I'm listening for the whip of the rope, but I'm also counting the reps every time his feet touch the floor. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, so on and so forth. I need to be really careful that when Rob inevitably trips in this workout, I don't count the rep he trips on. So Rob's going to do 5 reps here, but he's going to deliberately trip on that 5th rep. No pressure. And I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. No 5th rep. Rope didn't go around his feet twice. I don't get to count that. He doesn't get that rep. For single unders, same concept, right? Rope only has to go around twice. But again, if you get a trip on that rope, the last rep, we don't count that one. It's not happened yet. The rope had to clear for it to finish. We're going to get onto some snatches. When you're skipping in the workout, just roll your bar to the side a little bit for your skipping, and then you can roll it back in. Bar's going to start on the floor. It's going to be one smooth movement overhead. Huzzah! Boom. But we're looking crucially for this bit and this bit to go straight again before Rob brings the bar down. Show us a couple more, Rob. There's the rep. There's the rep. And now can you show us some of those where you keep leaning forwards at the top? See, he's got, and again, and hold there, stand up straight with your legs, but not your torso. There, right, we've got a straight leg, but look how far that hip is still closed, not a rep. We need to open that all the way up, boom, before we get given that rep. Hey, presto. If we clear those 2 rounds of work inside 6 minutes, we get an extra 3 minutes to do some more work. We're going to open with 20 handstand push-ups for those of you going RX, and for those of us going scale, we're looking at a hand release push-up. There is a 30-inch line of tape on these black mats. We must use these mats because we must be using a level surface for our hands and our head, so we can't slot an ab mat in as well. We need to be using this flat mat. Rob's going to kick up for his handstand.
My hands be just outside it.
You need to be touching that line with some part of your hand. So Rob's got a couple of fingers on the line. Hey presto, that rep is good to go. Okay, he must be touching the line. Elbows are locked out and shoulders are locked out at the top. And then at the bottom of the rep, his head touches the floor. Legs stay straight, he pushes back up. Hey presto, boom. 9 p.m. strict handstand push-ups, clearly the one. Boom. Going to jump into a hand release push-up. This is our scaled equivalent. Rob's going to hit the floor. The easiest way to think about this is that everything from here to here is now a solid object. There can be no wiggling around in the middle. If he moves, it's probably not a rep. We're going to lie down so that our thighs and our nipples, but not our knees, touch the floor, and we're pushing back up as one solid object. Boom. Show me again. Hey presto. And go down. So at the bottom of the rep, nipples and thighs, not knees, on the floor, hands come off the floor, and then we push up as one solid object. Any flaring here, and this is going to be subtle, boom, not a rep. You see that little wiggle? Do it again, just a little one. Not a rep, all right? We're taking some of the load out of our arms. It's really easy to fall into that habit. And the person judging you wants you to be really strict here, because there's nothing worse than doing 6 reps and then I wander over and go, no, they didn't count, all right? That is the worst for those strict handstand push-ups. Skipping stays the same, snatching standards stay the same. Obviously barbell is getting heavier. Super. Catch you in some more videos coming out this evening. Toodles.